What's going on, guys? Token Vaping. So today's juice review is actually a new line that I'm bringing into my rotation circle. In the next couple of days I have a few lines that I've been working on that I have final flavors to do, so I'll be closing them out and hopefully bringing in a few more newer lines. As you all know, if you've been watching my videos, and there is that red subscribe button if you'd be so kind, but I've been trying to shorten the amount of time that each video is to make it a bit easier to watch so that you don't feel like you're sitting so long and actually watch the entire video. But in order to do that and devote more time per flavor, it does actually sacrifice the amount of time that it takes for me to get through the flavors that I'm able to acquire from different companies. So if it's more than one or two flavors, it's going to take me a little bit because I try to do one flavor at a time in a rotation circle so that everybody gets a fair shake at it. So it does extend the amount of time it takes me to get through everybody's lineups, but I feel it's fair, more fair, because it lets me devote a bit more time to each company, to their flavors, and the amount of work and effort that they put into this. And that's the least I can do since they're allowing me the honor and privilege of doing this video. So today's line is on a company called, and it's really glossy, so forgive me for the glare, but it's Aristocrats, and that is a stag in the nice frame in a suit and tie, and it's basically privileged e-liquids made in America's finest city. Now, this company is based in Chula Vista, California, and one of the really cool things about this company, and it even says it, this is actually really nicely, if I can ever keep this open, really nicely put together presentation box, and it's got the black and silver confetti, and it just makes it look really, really fancy and really like high society club type. And there's their flavor menu, and it basically has whatever information you really need. They do have a website. It is aristocratsvapor.com. They're also on Instagram and Facebook, and they are on Pinterest. You can definitely email them directly as well off their website. But it states manufactured in a laboratory environment by biochemists with a combined experience of 20 plus years in the quality control pharmaceutical industry. So these guys aren't playing around. When they say that they're offering a high quality premium liquid, they make sure that they have the experience and the manpower to back that, which is impressive. You know, it's not just them saying it, they're actually showing that they can prove that by making it in a lab facility with people that are in the pharmaceutical industry that, you know about mixing, know about proper percentages, know about the different flavorings and chemicals and stuff that are used and how to properly combine them all together. So that's actually really, really impressive. So it is a 4-flavor menu, and this is the bottle. It is a glass bottle, and it's a very glossy label, so no matter how you basically try to look at it, it's gonna have a glare. But the flavor I'm gonna do today is called the Duke, and it does have the name of the company, basically just like the label on the box. Name of the flavor right here. That helps it all. Nope, not really. It's just a really shiny, glossy label. It does have the nicotine content, which is a 3%, and it's a 30 ml bottle. It does have the warning label here, and then it does have the California warning and ingredients on here, and it is a safety seal. If you look underneath, there is a safety ring, so literally I can do this and it's not going to open until I bust that, and it should make a crack sound when we do this. So like I said, this is a first review. It is going to be on a fresh wick as always, and my cotton of choice is Texas Tough Cotton. It just works really well for me. I like the fact that it's durable, it holds flavor really well, but the biggest shining point for it, in my opinion, is the fact that it doesn't have a very strong cottony taste. So basically, right off the first drip, you're basically going to get mainly flavor. So on Instagram, it's Texas Tough Cotton. I will put the link for their eBay store in the comments box as well. Now, this is the Duke. This is basically a blend of tropical fruit punch and watermelon. So it's basically supposed to be a very tropical, fruity type beverage. And it's a 60-40 mix. Now, I'm kind of nervous just because most of the juices that I have sampled and done reviews on are either a 70-30 or a higher. So this is actually going to be one of the lowest VG ratio mixes that I've tried in a long time. So we'll definitely check that out. But like I said, they've got the experience to back it, so they know what they're doing with their flavors. So we're going to go ahead and bust this open, and if you listen, there should be a pop right there. Of course, I had to talk over it. but then you see that the ring does get separated. So go ahead and take a whiff of this. Yep. You definitely smell the watermelon. You smell the it almost is like, and this is going to sound really cliche, but it's almost like when you open this and you take that first inhale, it's like you get a wafting of a tropical breeze through your senses, and it's actually kind of really refreshing. And then on the tail end of that smell, you definitely get the watermelon, which has that cooling, refreshing feeling afterwards. So we can go ahead and juice this up. And while I'm doing this real fast, I'm just going to state, as always, I just try to give a more informative base of information to go off of, to just better describe a flavor or something about the company that gives you a little bit more of an informational standpoint to go off of, to see if it's something that you may want to try, if you want to go ahead and order, because obviously not everybody's going to have the opportunity to get to, California or wherever these are sold at, because not every shop in the world is going to carry it. So if you're not by some place that has it, obviously you can suggest it to your shop. But this, my opinion, is basically meant to be more of a suggestive idea as to what this is about, so that it gives you something a little bit more than just read it off of a picture and hope that it's what it says it is. So I'm not trying to force it on anybody. I'm not trying to impose it on anybody. I'm just trying to help as best I can any vapor out there that takes a minute to watch the video. Okay, so that's juiced up. I'm going to go ahead and cap this up. And as always, it's my trusty 75 watts. This is the Duke from Aristocrats Vapor. Okay, so hit a couple of more drops in this. I'm going to get this through. Now, as I did state, it is a 60-40 mix. On their website, it is offered in a 15, a 30, no, let me rephrase. Yes, a 15, a 30, and then they jump to a 120. And then nicotine level wise, this is where they get a little different than other companies. They offer a 0, a 3, a 6, a 9, and a 12. So they do try to cover as wide of a range as possible without having too big of a gap like they do in the bottle size, where it goes from a 30 ml to a 120. But they do try to evenly ramp it on the nicotine. So that's why they do the 0, the 3, the 6, then the 9, and then a 12. Okay. So honestly, for a 60-40, the clouds are pretty solid. Anything I have seen a few times on mixed ratios under 70-30, the clouds get a little wispy just because now the PG is starting to take more of a footholding. For a 60-40, as you can tell, clouds are pretty decent. As far as flavor wise, now it says it's a tropical fruit punch, and then it's got a hit of watermelon, which it most definitely does. The bulk of the vape is going to be your tropical fruit punch. Now, they don't specifically state what's in it, which is good, because then the more they list specifically, the more your brain tries to pick out all the different flavors, and then if it isn't able to grab them all, you tend to get a little bit of a disappointment, because then it's, well, I don't taste this, or I get too much of this type thing. So it's just meant to be a tropical fruit punch mix, which it does have that. It has a very tropical fruity taste, but it's really light and more on the refreshing side. The undertone of it and on the exhale, the last little kick of it is the watermelon to give it that refreshing, that cooling, refreshing feeling to it. So that you basically feel like you're having a tropical drink, sitting on a beach, sitting in the breeze, things like that. Now, the only con that I could give to this, as far as flavor-wise, but I do have to state it, is because it is a 60-40, there is going to be a throat hit. Now, for me personally, I'm not a fan of the throat hit. I try to stay away from that, which is why I lean more towards the higher VG mixes. It's just, I've gotten past the scratchiness of the throat hit. It's not something that I look for in a flavor. So for me, it is a bit harsher than I'm comfortable with. But as far as if you're looking for an all-around level flavor, as far as equal throat hit, flavor, and clouds, this is not a bad line to give a shot for. With the 60/40 mix, you are going to get the throat hit, but the flavor is really solid. Like I said, you do get the breezy tropical fruit punch feel with it, and the clouds for a 60/40 mix are actually a bit denser than I was expecting them to be, so that was actually a nice little surprise. But definitely check them out if you're looking for a lower VG flavor. For people that still like that throat hit, that want that little bit of a scratchiness, but they still want to get more flavor as opposed to a denser cloud vape. But regardless of anything else, Aristocrats Vapor, thank you so very much for the opportunity and the privilege to have a chance to review your line. I look forward to trying the rest of the flavors. Guys, definitely check them out. It's aristocratsvapor.com. They are on Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest. As always, I'm Token Vaping, right there, Token Vaping. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Pinterest. Anything that I can do to help further enhance your vaping experience and make it more enjoyable for you. That is the main point of what I do. That is the goal of why I do what I do. So definitely hit me up if you have any type of a question or a video that you'd like to see. I will do everything in my power to make that happen for you. So until next time, at the end of the day, always remember, vape on, vape strong, and have a good night.